Good morning. Can we forgive wicked people? Can we forgive those who have committed heinous crimes? Can we forgive those who have oppressed and killed and tortured and been just all sorts of horrible to people? Jesus tells us to be merciful just as our Father is merciful. In the first reading from Daniel, basically it's this cry: we've sinned, we've been wicked, we've done evil, please have mercy on us. The responsorial psalm, Lord, do not deal with us according to our sins. And then Jesus says to us, be merciful as I am merciful. Be merciful as the Father is merciful to you. That's a tall order. That's a very difficult task, to exercise mercy the way that God does. To be laying on a cross, having nails driven through our hands, saying, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. We are called to be merciful as God is merciful. Lent is a great opportunity for us to look and to say, how have I sinned? How have I failed? How have I fallen short? God forgives me. But then how can I be merciful to those who have transgressed against me? How can I be merciful to those who have hurt me? How can I be merciful to those with whom I don't agree, I don't get along, I don't like? Perhaps even I have hatred for them. How can I allow mercy to rule in my life? Jesus says, stop judging and you will not be judged. Stop condemning and you will not be condemned. Forgive and you will be forgiven. And then he gives this example. He says, give gifts and you'll be given you a good measure, packed together, shaken down and overflowing will be poured into your lap. I always imagine that, sitting there, as somebody that wears black most of the time, just sitting there in a chair in my black cassock, and somebody comes up with a cup full of flour that they've packed in real good and they've smoothed it over, and they take it and they just dump it on your lap. It's like, this is inconvenient, right? But that's how great God's mercy is for us, that it's inconvenient, right? It's just kind of like this mess being made. Like, wait a minute, this doesn't belong here. This is overwhelming. But that's what God's mercy does. It comes upon us and it transforms us. It doesn't just cover us over, right? That's what Martin Luther said. Oh, it's just, we're snow-covered dung piles is what Luther thought. And that's real nice to think about. But no, rather we're transformed. We're changed because of that inconvenience. Just as the incarnation, right, inconveniences the world. It inconveniences time. Christ comes into reality. He comes into what we know, what we can see, what we can touch, what we can feel. He does that so that he can bring about his mercy. He does that so that he can shake things up, so that he can awaken us, so that we can recognize his mercy. But then we're called to be merciful to those around us. And as I've said often, practice mercy and forgiveness in the small things, right? If we can be merciful to somebody that cuts us off on Cedar Crest, then it's going to be a lot easier to be merciful to our wife or our husband when we have a disagreement. If we can be merciful to the person at Publix that left their shopping cart in a parking spot, which is like one of the most, I know we're talking about not judging, but like one of the most heinous things that you could do, right? The most basic thing you can do in humanity to show that you're a good person is take your shopping cart and push it back into the corral, or take it back into the store. But even to see the person walk away from the shopping cart, sometimes that makes my blood boil. I roll my window down and I fear for my life that I might get shot. But to see the person that just leaves their shopping cart in the parking space and walks away, especially if you see the shopping cart rolling, right? And like there's a Porsche and it's rolling towards the Porsche, to forgive even that person, to be merciful to that person. Can we do that? God desires forgiveness. God desires mercy. God desires compassion. God desires for us to work not as humans work, but to the way that he works. So as we continue in this time of Lent, let us really focus on forgiveness, recognizing the ways in which God has forgiven us, that he's offered us his mercy, and let us recognize the ways in which we are called daily to offer mercy to those around us.